Today I'm going to show you about record sets. Now record sets it's basically a set of records that caches to the computer. Now in Access this can provide you a certain amount of power to your database other than accessing it through the GUI, the standard GUI controls. Now for this tutorial, I have a very simple database. It's a goals database that I use to, well, I don't use, it's just something I really quickly developed here for this tutorial and its big purpose is to track goals. So you have three tables. You have a many to one relationship from the master goals to the goal, and then once you set up your daily goal, you can record them as daily goals. Now, there are two tables. So here's the goals table. Here's your so you got exercise, cleaning, animation, statistics, grammar, job, some higher goals that I want. The individual goals within there are going to be, 30 minutes at the gym for the exercise, some picking up trash, laundry. We have apply for jobs. Let's see, diagram a sentence, and then I can inactivate or activate them. Now in the goals database, I've created two forms. The check goals historical, and check today's goals. So the historical, it can show me all the past goals that I've done before. Right, so here's the whole list. If we want to create charts, we can do that. We can do all our typical Access database and analytics on it, and whatever you want to do with it, do reports, anything of the such like that. We have the daily goals table where this data is stored. The form, there we go, this is the daily goals table. It has all that data in there. Now the form for the check goals historical, that's where it pulls, is from the daily goals. And to populate that database, we have the check today's goals. The check today's goals form allows us to check and look at our goals for today and check them off as we finish them. Now the problem we have is that unless the data is in the table for today's date, it won't come up. So how do we populate this form and the table with today's goals so that we can check them off and put them in the database? There are several options. We could actually populate the data with the raw information from the goal and the goals table into check today's goals, and then once the end user provides a date or some other type of or clicks through the table, it will automatically update into the table. This leaves a lot up to the user and causes data entry problems. Now another issue is that if we want to populate it from the goals in the goal table and allow the user to kind of update it through applying a date, we won't be able to pull the data from the daily goals table. Now, I know this doesn't sound important, but the problem we run into is that we want the user to come back later and be able to open that same form to, check off the goal or add other information or do whatever while it's in the daily goals table. All right, we want to use the same form to populate the data and also for the user to go back and check in the form. It's too confusing for the end user to have two separate forms, one to populate it and one to update the data later. And this is where record sets come in perfectly to solve this problem.